everybody. Just wait for more people to come in. Hello everyone, this is Walden. Walden is back for a new Facebook Live video, and today I'm gonna go to a more like a talk show style. Hello, ow, I think there's someone getting in. Just wait for a couple of minutes for more people to come in. 2 people. Hi everybody, hello everyone, my name is Walden. Do you miss me or do you still remember me? I am in Brooklyn right now, and today I'm gonna talk about education. And okay, wait for more people to come in. How come that there is nobody talking? Hi everyone, how are you? 11 people, I don't see anyone. Hello everyone, how's it going? Walden is here, back for a new Facebook Live video. Yeah, I've been saying that for a long time. Hello, Diane. Hello, finally someone is talking. Hello everyone. Okay, so here's Walden with a new Facebook Live show. Hello Jackie, how are you? With a new hello Steve. With a new Facebook Live show, and today I'm in Brooklyn, and I'm gonna talk about the education between China and US. And guess who I am inviting? Da-da-da-da! Hello,
hi,
everybody!
Everyone.
Do you miss Andrew? Yeah, I think Andrew would be a perfect
special guest.
Yeah, Andrew is my special guest. I think Andrew would be a perfect guest for us to talk about education, because Andrew is also an educator. I'm also an educator. I went to Harvard Graduate School of Education, learning education for a long time. Before coming to the United States, I was a teacher back in China for nearly 6 years. And also, I went to college in China, went to high school and primary school and middle school in China, also kindergarten in China. And Andrew went to kindergarten in China or US?
US.
I think you need
yes. Oh,
yeah.
Now I've got a thing.
Yes.
Hello, Steve.
Hello,
yes,
Steve.
all
Hello,
of my
Aaron.
schooling was in the US, in either Connecticut or New York State. Actually.
Yes. So I will represent China today, and Andrew will represent America today. Yeah, it's a little bit bold for us to represent 2 countries.
That's a steep order.
Yeah, that is a really
that's a lot
steep,
of people to
yeah,
represent.
a lot of people to represent. So anyway, before we start our show, I'm gonna say something like, okay, we only represent our own personal experiences. So we're gonna say like, oh, I represent the whole China. No, I'm not gonna say that. And Andrew is not gonna represent whole United States. Yeah. We're gonna more talk about like something that is a general, or more like something that I find interesting, because I came to the United States 2 years ago, and I learned a lot about American education, and I found out a lot of very, very interesting things. And also, education is a topic that a lot of people are going to be interested in. And Chinese education is pretty famous for its fundamental knowledge. Like Chinese people or Asians in general are pretty famous for good at maths, which is something that I'm very good at. And because, thank God to the Chinese education, like such a strict education. And also American education, like especially American college education, is considered to be the top in this world. Pretty much when you see all those world rankings among the top 10 universities, America usually has like 8 universities. So America and China both have their own strengths in terms of education. So today we're going to talk about that. And everybody, if you have any questions about Chinese education or American education or education in general, you can just type it out and we're going to answer all those questions. Hello Patricia, hello Jot, hello everybody. Sorry for those of you who I haven't said hello yet. Hello everyone, and hello Glenn. Meek, I want my North Korean job fast, please. What is that? Okay.
I don't know.
Hi Jamie, I love China and Japan education because you believe in learning and learn so much, but American kids are lazy. Well, I would not say like American kids are lazy. Well, actually, this is something that I would like to talk about in the first place, like about the American kids education and Chinese kids education. Because like in China, for kids education, we also have 12 years of education. The first 9 years are compulsory education. It's from the 1st grade to the 9th grade. And from the 10th grade to the 12th grade is not compulsive. Like you don't necessarily have to take the last 3 grades. And the last 3 grades from 9th grade to from 10th grade to 12th grade, that is the high school in China. Whereas as far as I know, like the high school in America is different, right? It's from the 9th grade to 12th.
It's 4 years.
9th to 12th. So are the previous 8 years compulsory?
Yeah, from kindergarten through 8th grade is.
Oh, so kindergarten to 8th grade.
We do have
compulsory.
homeschooling though.
Oh yeah, that I know. Mm-hmm.
Is homeschooling prevalent in China?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have never heard of anybody who has gone to homeschooling. I only know one celebrity who did homeschooling. And also, like in terms of that, I don't know how everything works in homeschooling. For example, in the Chinese version of the SAT, like it will be really hard for homeschooling students to take that test.
Yeah.
I don't know, like whether it's the case in America. Have you ever met someone who went through
homeschooled?
Homeschooling?
Not at an advanced level. I think I've met people who were homeschooled when they were young and then maybe went to a high school after that.
Okay.
But it's and it's associated with, I mean, it can vary. Like there's lots of different people that choose it, but I know one particular thing that it is associated with is sometimes people in like certain religious communities do it because they want to like integrate their religious learning with the regular learning that the kids are doing, and they like don't find a school that fits that. But there's other people that do it as well, not for religious reasons.
Yeah, because of religious reasons. I heard that in some of the schools in the United States, it's like for example in biology, different schools can teach kids different stuff because of their religious belief. Yeah, that's what I heard. I don't know whether it is true.
Depending on the state, because there are some states where there are some states where I'm not sure if this is compulsory, but there are states where there's debate over whether they should teach evolution or teach evolution alongside alternative theories.
That is what I'm talking about, because this is one of the most interesting difference that I find. Like in China is a very, very big country. Well, for those of you who don't know a lot about China, well, this is China. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I got a map of China. So this is, but it is reversed. Okay. Anyway, you get it. So China is a very big country and has 1.4 billion people, but it's very interesting that pretty much all the knowledge we learned from the 1st grade to the 12th grade, pretty much everybody will learn about the same stuff. So for example, for biology, pretty much everyone in China will learn the same thing. Maybe some of things are different, but generally speaking, everybody will learn the same thing. So is that the case in the United States or no? Do you have like a universal textbook?
No, we don't have one universal. We have textbooks that are common or popular, but it does vary depending on your school and depending on public or private school or religious school. Because then, like I grew up with people who we went to the same school to public, because I went to public school for my whole life.
Yes.
But I knew some kids who went to public school up through middle school, and then I went to public high school and they went to a Catholic high school or another, like a private school, or and then we like separated, and they have their own
textbooks
curriculum.
are going to be really different, right?
They could be, yeah.
So which means that for 2 students, they both went to 12th grade, but actually when they talk about their own experience, they might be really different.
Yeah.
Is that the case?
Well, especially if it's religious education. Like, if you go to a Catholic school, you have religion as a subject, and you're learning about Catholicism, which I wouldn't have done in public school because it was secular.
I think that sort of explains why for a lot of Chinese kids or a lot of Chinese grown-ups, when they think of their memories, like high school memories, or when they think of their childhood, a lot of them can relate to each other because they pretty much went through exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. For example, my first lesson of my English class is how do you do? Or how are you? I'm fine, thank you. And you? I'm fine too. That is the first sentence that we learned. Ask any Chinese, they will tell you that the first English sentence they learned is that. Yeah, so pretty much everyone is the same. So that is very interesting. So I saw that Steve asked you the question. I think that is really interesting. Steve asked, what about the division between public and private education in the United States versus China? For example, you seem to have only experience with private schools. Actually, both of us only went to public schools instead of private schools. I have never been to private schools in China. not even college. Yeah, my college is actually also a public school. My college is called Communication University of China. Well, it's prestigious in China. It's a little bit like Columbia University here in the United States. So my college was pretty famous for journalism and news media and stuff like that. And well, the division between public and private, that is something that would be really interesting. Like in public schools and private schools, the textbooks are pretty much similar to each other. The only difference would be in private schools, they might have certain degrees of freedom. Yeah, but not too many.
Yeah.
So a lot of things that they learned in China, and that's what I'm talking about, a lot of things they learn in public school and in private schools are basically the same. Just private schools might have more degrees of freedom, but they still have to take the Chinese version of SAT to get enrolled in college. And one main difference, like a very, very major difference, would be the tuition. Like the private schools in China will be super, super expensive, whereas the public schools in China will be super, super cheap. That is why I went to all the public schools in China. Yeah, because I'm broke.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same. I mean, college can be, especially.
Yeah, but
really
according
expensive.
to what you told me, like public schools and private schools can be really different in the United States, right?
They can
Like
be.
what
Well,
they learned and the tuition.
yeah, I mean, there are public schools. Like, it's not whether a school is public or private isn't immediately an indication of the quality of the school. Like, there are public schools that are much better than other public schools. It depends on the district and like who's in charge, like the superintendent and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't. Well, because I work now in New York City, so I've seen a lot of New York City public schools, and it really varies drastically from neighborhood to neighborhood, even like just with the public schools, what the school is like.
Okay. Rebecca asked, I have known very intelligent kids who are at advanced levels who are homeschooled. They were odd but brilliant. I guess, yeah, homeschool students are basically like their parents are challenging the education system.
Yeah.
They don't believe anything. Maybe they went through the same like educational system and they don't believe that. That is why they choose to homeschool their kids.
I've also heard of, and I didn't mention this before, I've also heard of kids being homeschooled in the U.S. because a particular student was being bullied really extremely in school, and they were like unable to focus on school because of their environment. So they
School bullying is really a serious issue, not only in the United States but also in China, because I used to be bullied. And it's true. Yeah, it was a really, really dark memory. And like I came from a small town in China. It's this part of China. Well, for those of you who know about the Chinese geography, this is my home. This is a little bit reversed.
Yeah.
This is my hometown.
It's a mirror image.
Yeah, it's a mirror. This is my hometown. It's called Shandong Province. It's the hometown of Confucius. It's not Beijing or Shanghai, which are very big cities. So I came from a very, very small city. And for my parents, they didn't pay too much attention to school bullying because from their perspectives or from my generation in general, I was born in 1991. So from my generation, like all of our parents had this kind of thought that if you're being bullied in school, like, come on, you guys are just kids. How serious can that be? Just focus on your study. That's what they were thinking. I think right now China is improving. Like as time goes by, a lot of people are like more and more like pay more attention to school bullying.
Yeah.
Like they know that how serious that can be, even with kids. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's something that I think started earlier in America. That now like kids get a lot of anti-bullying material and a lot of like assemblies and everything and anti-discriminations. And I was actually just reading something recently of like a thread online where people were asking like for educators or people that work with kids, like what do you see as a positive trend in America's youth today, I guess? And something that a lot of people brought up, which I also do see working with kids myself, is that kids are increasingly accepting of diversity of all different kinds. Like they make fun of kids really with mental disabilities less, and they like are more accepting of people just being different from each other than they used to be.
Yeah. That is what I love about American education. I guess it's simply because America is an immigrant country, which is so different from China. Like even China has 56 different ethnic groups, but like 95 or 97% are Han. So our Han ethnic group. So, which means that people are still not like in a Chinese high school or junior high school, you don't see a lot of diversities. Now it is gradually changing, but you still like don't see a lot of like people from different races. Like majority of them are still from China, but I guess it is changing. People are getting more and more inclusive and comprehensive. Yeah, I think that is really important.
Do you see that? Do you think that's gradually happening in China as well?
Yeah, it is, because more and more international schools are being established in China now. Like when I was in high school, I had never heard of international schools, but now it's everywhere. And when I was in high school, I had never heard of any single, at least not a single of my classmates will apply college here in the United States. Not a single one of them. But now it's like 50-50. Like 50% of the students will apply for colleges here in the United States, 50% will stay in China. So that is like really different.
Are there a lot of, is it just the United States or a lot of Chinese students?
Oh yeah, also
like
UK,
like
Australia,
Europe
and Europe. Yeah, true. Okay, Asian children. Jamie Lee. Asian children are more educated because discipline. We American kids get away with things, especially discipline. Well, I don't know whether that is true. I guess it's just cultural difference. This is something that I'm going to talk about. I guess Jamie really brought up a very, very good point. Let's start by talking about something that is really different and that might shock you. Let me ask you a question, Andrew. You went to high school and middle school in the United States, right?
Yes.
Like public school?
Yes.
Have you ever been publicly ranked according to your performance, according to your GPA?
Not according to GPA, no. I do remember seeing a public ranking of SAT scores.
Not SAT score, but in general, like your school performance. Like how much did you get on your verbal test? How much did you get on your mathematics test?
It wasn't public, no.
Well, that is really, really common in China. Yeah, when I was like going through all those 12 years of education in China, every day, this happens every day. We start ranking from first grade. And all of our like transcript and all of our like academic performances will be publicly put in front of the classroom with your names, your scores, and your rankings. Yeah.
Do you remember? Well, finish what you were saying.
So pretty much everyone in the classroom will know who got the first, who got the last, and everyone will know. Like they sort of will judge each other based on that. Like, oh, that guy is really good at studying. Oh, that guy ranks the last.
Right.
So pretty much everybody knows. Yeah, so I think that is really, really different.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you remember we talked once about that book that I read that compared pre-K classrooms in China and the U.S. and Japan, and there was an anecdote about the Chinese classroom, and this was pre-K, the kids were like 4 years old or 3, but they did an activity where they were telling stories to each other, and the class was ranking each other's stories and like rating each other, and one of them would get voted by the children, like who was the best storyteller of the week or something.
Okay.
And I just remember that really struck me as being very different from an American classroom experience, especially that young. That like to have children like judge each other publicly in that way.
Yeah, true. I guess that still goes back according to my own experience and my own observation. America really focuses on people's individualism. Like American education believes each child is different. Like, each child has their own advantages and disadvantages. So American education doesn't believe everybody should study the same thing. So that is why you don't choose to like publicly rank student performance. Whereas in China, because there's so many people, I guess it's simply because there are just so many people there. So, publicly ranking the performance, we believe will somehow motivate students' performance. Yeah, I don't know whether that is true or not.
But yeah, but you could see that that's, I guess, the different the different culture, because then we would think that it harms students' performance because it harms their self-esteem or whatever. But then the other side would be, but it drives them to do better.
Yeah, that is really different. Let me see. So Kathleen, hi, how are you? Kathleen asked, do Chinese kids like the fight with their schoolmates? Like the fight is like physical fights? I don't think anybody would like that.
Like, did you? Well, I mean, I'm sure physical bullying is a problem everywhere.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah.
It's a problem everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is more like, that is more like a universal thing. It's not like only Chinese kids will do that. However, do they party? Good question. No. I'm sorry. We Chinese don't party. I have never heard of a prom before coming to the United States. I was like, high school prom? What is that? You have to find a date? You have to dance? What is that?
Did you ever have like a dance or something like that?
Never.
Or a party of some sort that was organized by the school?
Yeah,
That's
nothing.
interesting.
This will be our studying experience every day. So this is a picture of a very, very typical Chinese high school classroom. You see everybody is studying, and there will be a lot of like logos, models written there, like in the classroom. Like, okay, if you don't study, you will die, or something like that to motivate you. I'm exaggerating. So this basically means, okay. So the last year
like
of high school,
classroom.
So the last year of high school depends on like courage, and you just have to fight to create miraculous. So that is basically what this means. And everybody will bury their heads into books. So everybody is studying. They're studying for what? They're studying for the Chinese version of SAT. Well, different from the American version of SAT, Chinese version of SAT will be taken only once a year, which means that if you failed in this year's test, you have to wait for another year. Whereas for the SAT, you can take actually 7 times in a row. And another thing is that when you apply for college for the SAT definitely takes a big part of college application. But there are also other things that are important. For example, personal statement and recommendation letters and stuff like that. Whereas in China, SAT is the only thing. Yeah, SAT is, how do you say that in English? Like once for all? Like you're in or out? I forgot. This is the only thing that will depend on whether you're going to go to college or not. This is the only thing. That is why so many people are working so hard to prepare for the test. And this is my high school. This is my high school experience every day. And we don't get to rest, especially for the last year of our high school, which is basically like the 12th grade in America. We don't get to rest on Saturdays and Sundays. We don't. Sometimes we might rest only one day in a week. And we have to get up at 5 in the morning and to run across the schoolyard. More like a morning exercise. And then our class finishes, we'll have evening class, and our class finishes around 10 p.m. Yeah, so it's pretty harsh.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess in America that will never happen. Right? Will that happen?
Well, no, I mean, you might. American
will they have
kids,
this kind of classroom?
American kids do a lot of extracurricular activities that sometimes take up that much time, like being on a sports team or doing theater. Like I used to sometimes be at school, because I wasn't an athletic person at all, ever. But I used to do a lot of theater when I was in high school, and we would be at the school until 10 o'clock or 10:30 at night.
Oh, okay.
But that was because we were like practicing. We still got out of school at the normal time as everyone else.
Okay, just like when will the class officially finish? Normally, on average.
It depends, but somewhere between 2 and 3 in the afternoon.
That is early.
Yeah, they start.
That is really early.
They start at like.
You mean even for high school, like 12th grade, 11th grade?
Yeah, because they start early in the morning. They start at like 7:30 or 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah, we're about the same. Yeah, I guess it would be interesting for us to talk about our normal day in high school. Let's say like 12th grade. So for 12th grade, we went, for me, I went to sleep at around 12 o'clock or 1 a.m. in the morning, and got up at 5 o'clock in the morning and went to school, and I will arrive at school around 5:30. And the school will have this kind of morning exercise. We'll run all over the courtyard for about half an hour.
Everyone?
Everyone, the whole school. It's pretty spectacular. Yeah. It's like, and we will shout like, 1, 2, 3, 4, if you don't study, you will fall, something like that. Or run and say things like that.
Okay, finish your story, and then
Yes,
I'll talk about
yes.
my
Okay.
average day in 12th grade. But continue.
Yes, and then we'll go back. We would go back to our classroom and start morning reading. So because we will recite a lot of things, so we're gonna recite a lot of things like all those Chinese tests, even English tests, and recite all those stuff. And our class normally starts at around 7:30 or 8, and that will last till 12 p.m. And each class will last for about 45 minutes. And we will have 5 classes in the morning and 4 classes in the afternoon. So the morning class will finish at around 12 p.m. and then we'll have a noon break that'll last for an hour. So somebody who is if your home is closer to the school, you can go back home. If it's far away, you can just stay in the classroom or something, wherever you want to stay. And the class in the afternoon normally starts at 2 or 1:30, and that lasts till 6, and 6 to 7 will be the dinner time, and then we'll go back to evening class from 7 to 10. And some people will stay in the classroom till 11. And in this kind of situation, no partying. Yeah, no partying, no activities at all.
Do you have dinner at home or at the school?
School. A lot of people have dinner at school.
Oh wow.
Yeah. If
And
your home
lunch
is
too.
a little bit, if your home is closer to the school, you can go back home.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah. And in this kind of situation, till 10 p.m., officially till 10 p.m., you can stay in the classroom till 11 or 12 and go back home. Yeah. So that is basically my 12th grade experience. Now it's your turn.
Well, when I was in 12th grade, I actually did the morning announcements. So I would have to there were 2 students that would do it. So I would have to go in a little earlier than most people. I think I had to be there at like 7 or something like that, like around 7 o'clock. And then they served breakfast at school before classes started. And
For free?
No,
No.
you could. It was optional.
Is
You
it
could
like
pay
a
for it.
meal plan?
No,
Like you pay once for all, or
not
you
at my
just-
school. You
Okay.
would just pay for your food.
Okay, got it. So it's basically the same. Like in Chinese
Yeah.
school, we also have the dining hall. You can go to dining hall.
Yeah.
To eat. Yeah. So basically, the same.
Yeah, so but there was breakfast served, which some people would show up early and get breakfast, and then there would be class. We had a lunch break, like different schools would. Or different classes might go to lunch at different times. Everybody in high school, we would organize our the students were organized into teams or whatever, so that they were in like different rotations of classes. So your schedule might be different from someone else's schedule because of that. And there are also, once you get to 12th grade, there's a lot more optional classes that are like elective classes that people are taking.
It's a little bit like college already.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they were trying to like prepare you for college. But then we have a free period. Most people, I don't remember how often the free period was. I don't even think it was every day. But if you had a free period, especially if you were in, I think they only let you do this if you were in 12th grade. But if your free period was the last period of the day, you could leave school early. You could just sign out and go home. School would be over at like 2:30, and then a lot of people stayed later for sports or for other extracurricular activities, but there were no more classes after that. And you just go home.
Okay. Yeah, that is another thing that I would like to point out. The very, very different part between American education and American education and Chinese education is that it's very interesting in America in high school. Like the students move around and the teacher stays in the same classroom. Right?
Yes.
So you go to different classrooms for different classes.
Yeah.
Whereas in China, students will stay in the same classroom and it's the teacher
And the
moves
teachers.
around. Yeah, it's the teacher moving around. It's the other way around. Because for my high school, there will be like, that is not only in high school. From the 1st grade to 12th grade, it's all the same. The students will always stay in the same classroom and the teachers will move around. And we don't have such a thing as elective courses in high school. We only have elective courses in college. So, it's more efficient because in one class there might be 70 people. There might be 70 people in my class. My high school has 80 students in my high school. In my high school class. Yeah, one class, 80 students.
Wait, is that
High school.
is that like
12th grade, 10th grade to 12th grade?
Okay, so
my
like
class.
one graduating class is 80, or one classroom is 80?
One classroom is 80.
Okay.
Yeah, one classroom.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, one classroom is 80. Yeah,
My
because
God.
like because students will stay in the same classroom, so there is no such a thing as locker.
Yeah.
I have never heard of locker
Yes.
before coming to the United States. Yeah, so we all stay in the same classroom, and our locker are like
all the piles of books on the yeah, because you keep your books in your locker in between,
Yes.
and then you get them and bring them to your next class. Like okay,
got
like
it.
your lockers where you store all your belongings.
Okay. Yeah. So we store all our belongings in the same classroom, same desk, and yeah. So
Wow.
this is basically like a very, very normal. This is actually a very small size. Well, my class is larger than that. When I was in fourth grade, how old was I? Fourth grade.
9.
9. When I was 9, my class had 100 people. There were 100 people when I was in fourth grade. So imagine if the students goes around instead of the teachers, how that would look like. Let's say for all these people, they don't want to go to the class. They just decide to like stay in the hall.
So wait a minute. One of the schools that I teach at in New York City is in Sunset Park, which is Brooklyn's Chinatown, and they have an almost entirely Chinese student population, but they have this rotation schedule where the teachers rotate from room to room, and now I'm wondering
That
if
is
it,
very Chinese.
yeah, if it resembles
is
a Chinese
super
school
Chinese.
more. I never thought of that. That totally makes sense. That they have like a Chinese, their school is in certain ways patterned after a Chinese school.
That is also something that I don't get it, because we're a live show, so yeah, I don't want to go really super official. This is something that I want to complain. Come on, you're in another country. Why are you still using the Chinese high school system?
I mean, it's like the administrators and the teachers and the children. Like almost everyone in the school is Chinese.
Yeah, that's why I don't get it. Like, so you're in another country and you're using completely Chinese school system. Why don't you use the ones in China instead? And they're still speaking Chinese, they're still taking Chinese classes, and they don't speak a lot of English. Like, what's the difference? There's basically no difference between China. Yeah, just complaining.
Yes.
And just say something for fun to get more people to watch my show.
Oh, another thing, you're gonna love this. So, and not every high school does this in America. In my high school, and they actually didn't. My senior year was the first year that they started doing this, and they've continued. They have a senior project in 12th grade where if your GPA is above a certain average, like if you're doing well in school, basically, you get to do either independently or as a group. You get to do like a self-motivated project for the last few months of school instead of going to class. And you have to check in with a teacher and they mentor you, and it could be an internship or it could be just a project. Like I did with a group of other students, we put on a student directed play, and that was our project. Like we stopped going to class and we just rehearsed the play and did everything for the play, and then
it's okay for you to not to go to classes. You can basically like waive those classes.
Yes.
That is never gonna happen in China.
I know, I was like, now here's the least Chinese thing you've ever heard.
Even if you got sick, some of the Chinese parents will force you to go to classes. Yeah, it's like, I know it sounds harsh, but I somehow think to that kind of education, to be honest. Why? Like, I went to Harvard Graduate School of Education, and my concentration requires us to take the statistics class. And the statistics class requires to take the calculus class. And I just skipped the fundamental knowledge of the calculus and went direct to the advanced level of calculus. And I haven't dealt with mathematics for 7 years. I stopped learning mathematics. I couldn't even remember what calculus was when I restarted learning, and I picked up really quickly because I just skipped to the fundamental part, which means that all those like past 7 years, even though I haven't dealt with mathematics, but all those like strong intensive training I had back in China could bring all those memories back immediately, no matter how many years after. Yeah, right now, if you want, like, I haven't dealt with mathematics for such a long time. If I just go back to any advanced mathematics knowledge, I could just read it and immediately I'll be able to understand. Will you be able to do that?
Well, I will say that for me, I think
what is the derivative of sine x?
Okay, that's not a fair question because I never took calculus. I never got further than pre-calc.
What is the smallest prime number?
1?
Okay, I'm not gonna make... 1 is neither a prime number or a constant number.
2 is a prime number.
Yeah, 2 is
a prime number.
And 2 is the only even prime number.
I did know that.
Yeah, you did know that. How come that you said 1? Sorry guys, we skipped your question a lot. So Andrana said your high school experience.
College, man.
That's not an excuse. Yeah, I'm just trying to prove a point. Yeah, Chinese education is the
I
best.
had to take, in my college, I only had to, because I went to a liberal arts school, I had to take 1 math class in 4 years, and I took pre-calc because I had already taken it in high school, and I took it pass-fail.
You're making Americans look bad in front of the camera.
Yeah.
So sorry guys, we skipped a bunch of your
major.
questions because we got so excited
Anyway,
talking about education. Back to the Andrana. Yeah. So your high school experience sounds extreme compared to American schools. My kids would never do that, what you did. Yeah, I know. It's pretty harsh. Yeah, I told about a lot of my American friends, and they told me like, oh, it felt like prison. No, it's not like a prison. It's more like we're trying to build up this fundamental knowledge and stuff like that.
It's discipline.
Yeah, it's discipline. It's more like for a country to develop fast, you really need that. Imagine a country like the average literacy is pretty low. That country will never be able to improve. Yeah.
Do you know what the literacy rate is in China?
Literacy rates?
Like what percentage?
It is definitely improving. Like when I was small, it was 30%. Yeah, now I guess it is. I need to do research on that. Yeah, I cannot. Yeah. Okay, Steve, will you go up down to the 30s to show Korean food? Today our topic is about education, and I will show you guys Korean food for sure. And yeah,
we like that neighborhood.
Yes.
I love Korean food. I cook a lot of Korean food.
Oh, stop it. Okay. This is China plus America. Stop talking about Korea.
There's a lot of Chinese influence on Korean food. We could talk about that.
Oh yeah, true. Like kimchi. Do you know kimchi originally come from China? Yeah, I don't know whether that's true or not. Yeah, just kidding. Yeah. Loretta, did you do any lab classes? How did science classes work in this setup? That is a really good question. Not too many. Well, as far as I know, like when I grew up, not too many. Now there are more and more. But when I grew up, like when I was in high school, I did only 2 biology lab classes, and 3 chemistry lab classes. So not too many. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had one. I think I had a lab class. I don't remember how old I was when we started doing lab. I forget if we did it in middle school. I don't think. Well, I think we did it in a limited way in middle school. Yeah, when we started us. But I think we did it every year. There was like one class where you would end up doing lab experiments. And yeah,
lab experiments are actually being tested in the middle school. If you want to go to a better high school, you have to pass this the Chinese version of SSAT.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Chinese version of SSAT, like the experiments are included. You have to take some kinds of lab experiments to pass that test.
Is there the equivalent of a tech high school in China?
Tech high school? What is that?
Like there are some. So there you can take instead of going to a regular public school or a private school, you can take a special exam to get into a high school that's focused on STEM, basically, which is,
Never
STEM,
heard of that.
Yeah,
I don't
science,
think
technology,
that exists.
engineering, and math.
At least that does not exist in my hometown. Yeah.
There was 8. I obviously, with my math skills, did not go to a tech school, but there was a tech high school in my area, and I also knew some people that after middle school they took that exam and they went because they had a strong interest in it.
Oh, okay, interesting. So Joanna, 8 to 100 students in one classroom, but how many teachers in that classroom? One teacher. Yeah. So one teacher teaching 80 to 100 students, like one teacher teaching at the same time, but there might be 9 teachers teaching 9 different subjects. So there will be a verbal teacher, like Chinese teacher, English teacher, mathematics teacher, history teacher, politics teacher, geography teacher, blah blah blah. So like each class, there will be in each 45 minutes there will be only one teacher in that classroom.
At what age do you have teachers differentiated by subject like that?
First grade.
That starts really young?
Always.
Oh,
no,
okay.
it never. We never have those. That is another difference. For those of you who don't know about Chinese education, as long as you're in school, as long as you're in Chinese school, we start to differentiate the different teachers. Like when I was in kindergarten, I still remember my kindergarten mathematics teacher because she was so harsh on me. She was like, "How come that you cannot solve this problem? Okay, so if you got this wrong again, I'm gonna cut your finger." And she was holding a scissor. And she was trying to pretend that she was gonna cut my finger, and I cried immediately. She was really harsh. That was my mathematics teacher, and my Chinese teacher was pretty great in kindergarten. So we start to differentiate very early. So I was pretty shocked actually when I learned that in America, all the teachers will teach basically the same class till 4th grade or 3rd grade.
So we started having different teachers for like every class in middle school in 6th. But before that, you would have different teachers for some things. Like gym was always like the gym teacher, because that's like a different level.
Yes.
That's like different area of expertise. And health, in 4th and 5th grade, we would have health class, and that was a different teacher. But yeah, mostly it was the same. Like to pass the exam to become a general education teacher, like for elementary school in America, you have to take all the subjects.
Yeah, true. So Mark, are you guys really good at math? Much love. I'm good at math. I suppose Andrew is also good at math because Andrew just said the smallest prime number is 1.
Okay, I'm going to ask you questions about Latin grammar next.
Okay, let's me check whether there are other... Okay, James, do you have cooking class in China?
That's a fun question.
No, we don't have cooking class. Actually, we have some class when I was in 4th grade, we had a subject that is called labor. But that class was not very important, so nobody would listen to that class.
What are you doing?
Yeah, labor. Like there might be cooking.
Oh, okay.
Also, even scissoring, and paper cutting, and
there are classes like that.
Yeah, they even taught you. Like I remember clearly when I was at 4th grade, there was one class in the labor class that they taught us how to take a shower. I was like, is that really necessary?
In 4th grade?
4th grade?
I mean, I guess that's around the age when you start, like, reliably showering on your own, I guess. But in America, they used to call that home economics, but I don't think, or home ec, I don't think schools really have that anymore. But yeah, we have classes like that.
We also had the classes like that. Yeah. I'm not sure whether they still have it.
And we have, which I wish they would do more of, actually. There was some, because this was an elective, it was an optional class. My high school had, like, finance, like, teaching you the very beginnings of finance. Like
finance?
Yeah.
I mean, finance, I can never do the balance sheet. It will never balance.
Well, I didn't take
No matter
that class.
what I do, that never balance. I was like, how come that all those accountants can balance all those, like balance sheet?
They should have taught us that, though. They should have taught us like how to use how credit works and stuff like that. High schoolers should learn that.
So Kathy asked a very good question. Were you required to take English classes? Yes, we are required to take English classes, but our English classes will start from 7th grade. Yeah, I started learning English when I was 14. So 14 is about 7th grade? 14?
Yeah.
7th grade.
Or 7th or 8th.
Yeah. I started to learn English like ABC, how to write A. The teacher took 2 months to teach us how to write A to Z. Yeah, I was like, oh my god. It's basically... Is it really necessary? I was like, oh
I don't know.
god. And also, my English has a very, very strong Chinese accent. He was like, apples. What is that? It's apples.
We started taking a language in 6th.
Okay.
And then you had to take, yes, you had to take a language
Sorry
every
guys,
year.
our audio might be a little bit we need to speak a little bit louder because my phone is out of juice. So I'm gonna just
changing to a portable
change
battery.
Sorry, guys. Continue.
Yeah, so language was required, but we had choices.
Mm-hmm.
Spanish was the most popular choice.
Mm-hmm. Are you guys able to hear us clearly, loud and clear? Yeah, just ask. Are you guys able to hear us loud and clear? Yeah, can you hear us? Because I just take the headphone off. Bookkeeping was a class in 9th grade.
Similar to what I was talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Bookkeeping. So let's see whether there are other questions. Yeah. Back to Kathy's question. Were you required to take English classes? Yeah. Well, like when we were in 7th grade, but it's more test oriented instead of like spoken English. Yeah. We have never had spoken English.
They can hear us. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we had to take a language class every year, but we had Spanish, French, Latin, and I think we also eventually had German and Italian and Chinese, but that happened like after I graduated. But French is very much on the decline in American schools.
Okay.
French is not as popular as a foreign language anymore. But it's definitely Spanish.
Yeah.
I took Spanish and Latin.
Actually, there is a lot of my kids have Spanish from 1st grade on. You know what? I always envy people who grew up in a bilingual environment. Yeah, I never had that.
In Europe, they start learning English that young. They start them in like kindergarten and 1st grade.
Well, in China, it's not only like in China, like in terms of foreign languages, there is actually a lot of options. You can choose Spanish. You can choose Spanish, Russian, Japanese. Like Russian. Like my mom grew up learning Russian.
Oh.
Yeah, because back then China and Soviet were close. So back then Russian and Japanese were the most popular 2 foreign languages back then. And starting from my generation, English became popular. And Russian and Japanese are still available, but nobody chose that. It's more like it sort of becomes like a principle that pretty much all the Chinese parents agree on, like not choosing Russian or Japanese, like everybody would choose English. Whereas in the Chinese version of SAT, Japanese and Russian tests are provided, and French tests and Spanish tests are also provided. But I have never heard of anyone taken that.
No.
Yeah, majority of us will take the English.
Yeah, I have not heard of like people studying Spanish in China at that age. I didn't know that was an option.
Very rare. It is an option, but very rare, including French.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But I also haven't heard of a lot of people studying Russian here.
No,
in the
not young. I never saw anyone study Russian before college.
It's more like Latin is more common.
Yes, which is funny because it's dead.
That would be a question that I want to ask. Like, which is the most favorite, like non-English language Americans will learn in high school?
Oh, definitely Spanish.
Spanish?
Yeah,
okay.
Definitely Spanish.
I thought it was Latin or something.
Latin is, there's always going, I mean, I was a classics major, so I know about this stuff, but like, there's always will be people that are interested in it. It's not going to go anywhere, but it's never going to be the most popular. It's like there's always that little segment of nerds that are really into that stuff, and but it's not the most. Yeah. Although it helps your vocabulary. It helps you with because the root words are all there, so it helps you understand like SAT vocabulary. True.
Helps you to remember GRE and GMAT in the future.
Yeah.
James asked, do you have health class in China? We did when it was in before 5th grade or 6th grade. We had health class, but nobody would take it seriously because it was not a very important health class. It was not a very important class. Well, here's the most interesting in China. If this class does not have a test, say in the SAT, in the Chinese version of SAT or SSAT, if they don't test this subject, all those kids will choose not to learn. Even though they're super important.
Right.
Yeah, for example, like music, we also have music classes, we also have fine art classes, but all those classes are not will not be tested in the Chinese version of SAT or in the high school entrance examination, they won't be tested. So even though all those classes will be provided in China, but not a lot of people would take it seriously. Yeah.
Huh. What kind of stuff do you learn in health class in China?
I can't remember.
Do you
how to take a shower?
do you have like sex education at all?
That is also something that I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Sex education. So sex education is being taught in biology class in China. And the biology textbook is this much, is this thick, and the sex ed was like only 1 page. And it was supposed to be an hour class, like an 1 hour class, but the teacher took only like 10 minutes. Like, yeah, because we were all so embarrassed.
Yeah. It's always awkward.
Yeah, because like in the biology class, there is a picture talking about like the genitals and stuff. But we were just so embarrassed, and this teacher was also pretty embarrassed. And yeah, and that part will not be tested in the test.
Wow.
Yeah. So I would say we don't have sex education.
Yeah.
That would be my answer. But I heard that in America, sex education is like you will have sex education, right?
Yes, but that is something that varies depending on what school you go to.
Mm-hmm.
That does vary widely.
Okay.
But yeah, we had. I mean, it wasn't. It was. Yeah, it's always going to be awkward. It wasn't comprehensive, but they definitely addressed it. They definitely talked to us about it. And actually, my health teacher because we did it in health class, not biology class.
Uh-huh.
But I remember I think in 4th grade, my health teacher had one class where she had a private talk with the girls and then a private talk with the boys. And that wasn't about sex. It was about like how to be respectful towards each other, basically.
Okay,
and I really thought that was a cool idea, that she talked to the girls and boys separately of like, okay, be prepared, like boys are going to be crazy and like get ready.
Girls are going to have that kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah. So I appreciated that.
Yeah, true. That makes sense. Also, there's another difference. Like in mainland China, well, they do exist in Hong Kong and Taiwan, but in mainland China, it's very rare to see a only guys school or only girls school. Yeah, that is super uncommon in mainland China.
Do you think
it's sort of like common here, right? Is it common? In the United States?
Not common. It's more common with religious schools, like Catholic schools.
Okay.
Do you think maybe that's from the British influence that it's in Hong Kong?
Oh, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's because of the British influence.
Yeah, it's not that. I wouldn't say it's that common.
Yeah, but also
here.
like in Singapore, like only guys school and only girls school are also pretty common.
Yeah, that's probably also the truth.
Because I used to teach SAT back in China, and there was this Singaporean girl in my class. I was like, why are you so shy? Just talk to your classmate. Just talk to your deskmate. And she was like, teacher, I haven't talked to a guy for 12 years.
Oh. School is meant to prepare you for life, you know.
Yeah, Jessica said it stopped. What stopped? Our live show stopped?
Uh-oh.
Our live show stopped? Is everybody able to hear us loud and clear?
It says, I think it... Well,
it stopped? Yeah, it
still
says
20
live,
people
so 20 people are watching. So, hello everybody. Can you hear us loud and clear? Are we still on our live show?
The number is changing, so I think that's a good
Oh,
sign.
okay, great.
Oh,
great.
wait.
Yeah, Jessica said it stopped.
But someone
I guess,
said you're live.
Yeah, okay, great, okay.
So,
yeah, because Jessica was referring to something else.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess
Okay.
so. So Linda said, my daughter teaches English in China, toddlers, all grade school levels, and adults at a private school. Yeah, right now China is changing, like the English class is getting more and more ahead. I guess the reason that I took English so late was back then China was really poor, not that developed, so they were not able to hire English teachers. Like my English teacher grew up studying Russian. So
that's
when my English taught us, basically the teacher himself started learning English for only 1 year.
So would you say
I guess
now?
I guess that is why like he taught us how to write alphabets in 2 months because there was nothing that he could.
Like he didn't teach you the Russian alphabet. So no, but would you say like now is there an increase in native speakers teaching English in China? Like, are there more and more?
Yeah, it's a big business in China. So if you're considering of teaching English in China, well, you can search for a lot of jobs, and if you want any recommendations or stuff like that, you can contact me. Yes, because I know a lot of people in China. I used to do education back in China as well. So definitely like, because right now there's so many Americans going to China to teach English because they pay so well, which means that there might be a lot of scammers. So in order to avoid all those scammers, it's better for you to find a reliable resource or find a reliable source of reliable people. Yeah, that'll be more important. Okay, let's see whether
Spanish, French.
Yeah,
someone's
Spanish,
saying
French,
different
German.
foreign languages.
Oh, different foreign languages. Yeah. Is Japanese easily learned if you speak fluent Chinese? That was Kathy's question. Sorry guys, it's a little bit like, I think the time and the live is like 5 minutes, not 5 minutes, like a minute like slower than the actual live. So basically like Japanese is not easily learned at all because my college major was Japanese.
The truth comes out.
Yeah, so it was not easy for me at all. And I guess Japanese for Chinese is quite easy to write. We didn't take any time to learn how to write Japanese because basically it's all Chinese characters.
Right.
So it's quite easy for us to learn how to write. It will be really hard for English speakers or for non-Chinese speakers to learn Japanese because it will take them a while to learn how to write all those things. But it will be really easy for us to learn how to write. So the harder part for Japanese will be the grammar because the grammars between Japanese and Chinese are really different. Like they put the verbs in at last. So everything is like reverse. They say subject, object, and the verb. So it's like really different. Okay, Annie. Are you guys from New York? I'm not from New York. He's kind of from New York. So I'm from China, Shandong province. Let me show this again. A Chinese map. I come from this part of... Let me see.
No.
Yeah, this part of China. It's called Shandong province, and it literally translated to the east of mountain, and it's between Beijing and Shanghai. It's in the middle of Beijing and Shanghai. 4 hours train ride from 2 hours train ride from Beijing, 2 hours train ride from Shanghai. So that is my hometown. And the Chinese map, in a lot of Chinese people's minds, Chinese map looks like a chicken. Like this is the chicken head, and this is the chicken tail. And
Walden
Hainan,
is from the throat of the chicken.
Yeah, this is Hainan, this is Taiwan. So Taiwan and Hainan are basically like 2 chicken feet. Yeah, so I'm from the chicken throat. From the throat of the chicken. And Beijing is the chicken's heart. And Shanghai will be the chicken breast. Yeah, Shanghai will be the chicken breast. And Hong Kong is the chicken feet. Yeah. And Andrew is also not from New York, but he's kind of from New York. Yeah, just tell him.
Yeah, I'm from Connecticut, but I've lived in New York for 6 years. Mm-hmm. But I grew up in the area. I'm from the Northeast, so not far.
Jessica asked, how much Chinese you need to know if you want to visit? Well, if you want to visit, my suggestion would be if you want a perfect visit to China, go with a Chinese speaker. Well, my suggestion will be, according to my own experience and also my American friends who went to China, well, find some group like Facebook groups or Instagram groups or YouTube groups and find locals on Instagram because there are a lot of people who would like to show you guys around and they speak both English and Chinese. That would be something I would do if I'm in Beijing. Yeah, I used to live in Beijing for about 6 years. So if I go back to Beijing, I would do that. I would post a lot of things on Instagram and telling you guys, well, if you want a Chinese speaker to travel around with you, and I would just show you guys around. So my suggestion would be go there with a Chinese speaker. That will make your visit perfect. If you don't speak Chinese at all, and if you cannot find a Chinese speaker to go to China with you, download a translation app. That would be really helpful because a lot of Chinese people are not able to speak English very well, but they're super friendly. They would like to help you. And yeah, that is another suggestion. The third suggestion, if you cannot download a translation app, if you cannot find a local Chinese people to help you, but if you got lost and you cannot find a single English speaker, try to find kids. Because like kids can speak English very well compared to adults. So sometimes kids can be really, really helpful. Okay, so that would be my suggestion. If you don't speak Chinese at all, it would make your traveling to China not as perfect as if you do. Yeah, that'll be my suggestion. Okay.
It's 9 o'clock.
Okay. Vincent, hello, NYC. Very good description with the map. Thank you. You don't need to know much. Google Translate worked for me quite well. Thank you, Ed. Yeah, Google Translation worked very well. Thank you. Yeah, Google is our friend. Mary West, America is way behind. They're too focused on making everyone just alike, the perfect little liberals. Other countries focus on the abilities and strong points. Well, this is a very deep question or topic. I don't want to say like some countries behind or something like that. I think each country has their own unique points in terms of their education system. So what we need to do is just to build a bridge between China and America, like this Facebook homepage, China plus America, to eliminate all those misunderstandings and start talking with each other and come up with a better solution. Because China goes to an extreme way and America goes to another extreme way. Sometimes like American classroom is too free, and sometimes in Chinese classroom is too strict. Yeah. How come that we don't work together and find a sweet spot? We can do that. Yeah.
The middle path.
Yes.
Like in Buddhism.
Yes. Oh, okay. So thank you guys for watching today's video. And yeah, there's something that I didn't get the chance to say, like this. And this is a very, very common Chinese high school and middle school experience I didn't get the chance to say. It's pretty spectacular. This is called National Workout. It's like aerobics, and we're required to do that during the class, during the middle of the class. Like after 2 classes in the morning, around 10 o'clock in the morning, from 10 to 10:30, everybody, you will see 2,000 students going to the school campus to do this kind of exercise. It's pretty spectacular. Yeah, I guess this does not exist in America.
Yeah. Not on that scale. Not everyone all together at once.
Yeah, everyone all together at once, and there will be music, and there will be people like music saying something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we will do like movements together. Yeah, so it's pretty spectacular. And in some schools, we will do something like this to help people keep away from, how do you say that in English again? Like eyesight, near-sightedness?
Nearsightedness?
Short-sighted?
Nearsighted. Nearsightedness.
Yeah, you can never cure short-sighted.
That's figurative. Yeah, nearsighted is
yeah, we
literal.
do wear school uniforms. Yeah. So this is also another thing I grew up doing. It's like a massage. We believe on your face you have different kinds of spots that will make your eyesight better. And you have to do this kind of stuff. There will be also music. There will be saying like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you will see a lot of people sitting in their classroom doing exactly the same movement. It's like doing the same massage.
And how is your eyesight after all that?
Oh, damn, and -7. Yeah, anyway. Okay. Thank you guys, thank you James, thank you Kathy, thank you everyone, thank you Andrena, oh thank you Joanna, thank you Jessica, thank you Alex, thank you Marty, thank you Ed, thank you Christy, thank you Vincent, thank you for all those people who I didn't get the chance to call your names, and I'll see you next time. My talk show will be on Friday, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Well, my live show on Saturday night will be going all over New York, show my favorite places, my favorite restaurants, so find out where is Walden, and my Friday night will be like doing this sort of like talk show talking about American and Chinese education, American and Chinese food custom, and American and Chinese, a lot of different things, and you guys are welcome to ask me questions. So good night. Thank you so much for supporting us. Bye.
Bye.